Hey, Soul Tribe. Mel, Intuitive Coach here, excited to bring in your weekly collective reading for November 3rd through November 9th. We'll explore the energies for each day and see what guidance Spirit has for you. Now, this week we have two major astrological shifts taking shape. We have more than that, but these are the two that really stand out. We have the full moon in the sign of Taurus, and we also have Mercury retrograding in the sign of Sag. So let's see how that plays into the week ahead. Bottom of the deck, we have intuition. When intuition shows up as the undercurrent through the week, Spirit is guiding you to trust in your inner voice, trust in your intuitive knowing, because oftentimes around that full moon energy, there are illuminations. Think of the moon in tarot. Subconscious energies come to the surface where we are made more consciously aware of our thoughts, our patterns, our habits, and any energies that can sometimes have us feeling a bit restless or even uncomfortable. And that's why intuition is so very important, because this Scorpio energy that we are currently in has us going to the depths of our emotions and even our shadows. So trust in that inner voice. Sit with yourself, sit in silence, and spend plenty of time this week checking in with you, checking in with your body. How does my body feel? What is my body telling me? What do I need to address at this time? Because there is a heightened sense of awareness that is showing up, and you may even benefit more from meditation or getting out in nature, going for a walk, meaning your intuitive hits will become stronger, that intuitive knowing will become clearer. So let's take a look at Monday, November 3rd. We have choices coming through here. There may be some important decisions that you are making in your career, your finances. Because the full moon is in the sign of Taurus, it can have us looking at our pentacle realm, right? Finances, material gains, material loss, our home, our possessions, our health, our body. So you may have some choices in those areas coming up this week. Especially on Monday, it feels like you are organizing, you're prioritizing. I'm being shown a calendar, and this could be schedules. Some of you are looking at your schedules. It feels like this Monday is a very productive day, but you may at times get pulled into different directions. So there may even feel, it may feel like a bit of scattered energy at times. So try to focus on the task at hand instead of letting a million different, directions pull you, because otherwise you may have to come back and readdress what it was that you were focused on. I hope that makes sense. Now, I'm also seeing some important documentation. This could be teaching, learning, education. I feel like there's paperwork, administrative tasks, or even financially budgeting or looking at your options here. So where you put your money, which financial institution. Some of you may be looking at insurance plans, or excuse me, you may be looking at your creative projects and revisiting or even reevaluating, because that's what retrograde energy is all about. Kind of revisiting some of these energies and asking, do we still need to juggle them up in the air? Are they still a priority? Or are there certain things that we are meant to drop at this time? So Monday, it feels like you are getting more organized with your life, with your tasks, with your energy. It feels like you may also be shifting gears a bit and opening yourself up to new ideas and new thoughts, new inspirations that come through. So you are ultimately creating balance by reassessing where you are currently at, getting honest with yourself. That's a big key here, honesty. Now, moving into Tuesday, November 4th, we have belief system. Belief system is all about your programming, right? Think of the Hierophant, the teachers that you've had in your life, not just in grade school, not just in college if you've went, but the teachers throughout your life that could be your caregivers, your family, your, excuse me, your friends. Also, higher education, higher learning, your jobs that you've been in, right? We learn through experience, and all of those experiences, Soul Tribe, have left an imprint in your mind and the stories that you weave and that you tell yourself. So as we near the full moon on Wednesday, I really feel like you are coming to a point where you're starting to reevaluate here what brings in stability, right? That true sense of worth into our lives. And so belief system is coming through here because if there were limitations, judgments, criticisms, patterns, you're reflecting this Tuesday and you're starting to open up a new chapter. Maybe that's why I was seeing the books this Monday, because it feels like you're starting to open up to seeing things from maybe a different perspective or a different angle. And that is opening the pathway for abundance to flow into your world. And you are a survivor is what I'm getting here. It feels like you have survived many difficult or struggling challenges or obstacles, but I feel like things are starting to be reoriented here in a way that allow your happiness to shine through, that allow that sun energy. I'm being shown now the sun, which is about confidence. So some of you, yeah, you could be reorienting your own confidence in some way, where if confidence has taken a dip, if it has taken a dip because of, an ending of a job or an ending of a relationship or even, the aging process, health process, things of that nature. I feel like you're really taking a look at where you're at and saying, what is true for me? So Tuesday, there could even be an important deadline or an important conversation, a meeting at work, or a meeting with your family about the finances, or a meeting about your stability, perhaps where you live. I'm hearing real estate for some of you. So you are tuning into where your commitments lie, what you pay homage to, and asking, is this still something I want to juggle up? Or again, is it time to reorient? So moving into Wednesday, Wednesday, November 5th, we have the full moon in Taurus, also known as the beaver moon. We have messages coming through, incoming news, announcement, and important communication. So the fact that we have intuition at the bottom of the deck, Soul Tribe, tells me that for many of you, this is going to come from your inner awareness, through your dreams, through, excuse me, those divine downloads, through your channeling energies here. Now, as I've mentioned, stability is showing up here. Taurus is connected to stability, comfort, that sense of worth. So it's really a powerful time to release anything that no longer serves your well-being. This could even be attachments as well as the beliefs and the patterns. You are being guided to focus on grounding yourself, nurturing your body, your mind, your relationships, and the resources that fully support you. And you are receiving the message. This is what the message feels. Feels like it's very strong coming through, especially this Wednesday, to appreciate life's simple pleasures and align with what truly matters. I feel like that is the message that you are receiving. And because subconscious energies could be coming to the surface with retrograde and that full moon, you may even be having intense dreams or vivid imagery coming through that help you receive insight into your next steps. And if this isn't activated through your clairvoyance, many of you, like your claircognizance and even clairsentience, that feeling or even just knowing of these things are going to make its presence known, not only in your internal world, but Taurus can also connect to the earthly realm. So you may notice, nature or animals coming up. It could even be that when you're outside, you receive some of the biggest messages, the biggest aha moments, but also paying attention to the foods that you are eating. Some of you are looking at your nutrition, looking at your diet, your sleep, how much movement you are getting. And I'm actually seeing one of those, is it like a Fitbit, the thing that goes around your arm? Some of you could even purchase or invest, or maybe you have like a Fitbit, something that is tracking your health. Please take that as it resonates, but that's coming through here. Now on November 6th, we have here Heart's Desire. So this Thursday, your heart center is activated where there's a lot of release, a lot of forgiveness, but I also see that you're making space for connection here, connecting to things that light you up. There's that sun energy that I was picking up on. So this is about connecting with your people, right? With your family, with friends, with a community, with your animals, with nature, and feeling like you are not on this earthly plane all by yourself, because sometimes we feel very secluded. We feel very disconnected and separated from the cosmic heart. And this Thursday, it feels like there is, excuse me, an energy or a pull to really pay attention to your heart's desire. This could be a love for what you do in your career. It could be a love for, how you take care of you, how you've been reparenting and nurturing and, loving up on yourself. Some of you may be strengthening bonds or commitments between lovers, between friends, between family members. And you may even be revisiting, Soul Tribe, a passion project that you've put on the back burner, because retrograde energy has us reevaluating, reassessing, as I've mentioned, and returning to things of the past that we've tend to shove aside because, well, life, right? Responsibilities, they get in the way, and sometimes they supersede or they take over the things that we really want to focus on. But it feels like you may even revisit some old photographs, some old journals, or your dreams are alerting you of maybe a past experience, something that you'd like to maybe start up again, or even that feeling of joy or of pleasure, because the heart is making space here through releasing judgments and releasing fears that are connected to pain, that are connected to loss or being hurt or disappointed. I'm almost getting a 3 of Swords energy coming in here, where many of you are working through unresolved emotional pain that has caused you to at times feel closed off, or caused you to not be able to trust in life, trust in your choices, trust in the process here. And it feels like you are really undergoing some deep 3 of Swords vibes here, where you're moving on, you're moving away from this, which is beautiful, because we all go through hurt, we all go through pain, but suffering here, I always say suffering is a choice. Pain is inevitable, but we don't have to suffer. Now, we have action showing up this Friday, November 7th. This is about ambition, forward momentum. This day may go by in a flash, so be mindful. And it tells me also that you could be focused on engagements that are more fun, that are more promising, more committal. And oftentimes when we are having fun, time flies by. So even if you are at work, you could be wrapped up in a project or wrapped up in, something here that has the time going by quickly. And you look at the clock and you're like, wow, how has half the day already gone by? But I feel like you are quite productive this Friday. And there's a lot of ambition, there's a lot of momentum, and you may even get some work done around your home. If you have been wanting to perhaps get some last minute things done before the weather cools down, for those of you here in the Northern Hemisphere, maybe you're getting some yard work done, or you may even be redecorating or putting away any Halloween decorations and getting ready for a harvest time, maybe Thanksgiving decorations if you celebrate the holidays. But this is also about momentum building within the body, where you may have a really good night's rest on Thursday night and you wake up feeling refreshed and revitalized this Friday, where you're like, whoa, I am up and at 'em. You're up at 6 a.m., you're getting your workout in, or you are journaling, you're drinking your tea, and you just feel like you're in the flow. That's what I'm getting here for you. Now, this also connects to the chariot. So you may be getting focused today and even traveling. Some of you could even be going on a trip, or there could be like vacationing or business work that comes into mind here. But vehicles, something with vehicles. This could be a great day to get your oil changed, or maybe to clean out your car, maybe go to a car wash, or if you are wanting to maybe purchase a vehicle, some of you could be going and looking at used or new cars or trucks. And I'm also getting RV. Perhaps some of you have thought about maybe a camping excursion, or buying or renting an RV perhaps for an upcoming trip. And because we have the powerful feminine energy coming through with the cat, I feel like this is an independent day, which means you may get more done on your own without, excuse me, feeling like other people are coming in, kind of slowing things down. So if you are a great independent worker, you may find that, your progress, you're just ticking off that to-do list this Friday, and you may actually get done early and have a little bit of time to really enjoy the rest of the day. Maybe you're able to take half a day off, or you're able to enjoy some downtime. You may have like double events happening. So perhaps you had a very busy day at work, and then in the evening, you could be meeting friends or meeting family out, and it's kind of just celebrating. It feels like it's a celebratory, a high vibing, action oriented day this Friday. Excuse me. Now, Saturday, November 8th, we have healing. So no wonder healing comes in after such a high impact Friday, where there may even be a lot of clients, for those of you that may be caregivers, or you work with the public, or you are, doing a lot. This Saturday may be a really good time for you to check in with your body and feed and nourish your body foods that are healthy, foods that restore your energy, taking care of you. You could even be going to a workshop. Maybe you're going to a seminar, or it could be a psychic fair. You may be getting a massage, or going and listening to sound bowls, or it just feels like recovery is possible this Saturday. And we're nearing and inching closer to retrograde here on Sunday. So no surprise, healing is coming through, because a lot of you, many of you that are connected to the energy of this channel, are healers. You're light workers. Whether this is part of your profession, it is absolutely part of the core of who you are. I feel like we are all on this healing journey, but sometimes we take it into our careers. And if you are a caregiver or a healer professionally, or if you take care of an elderly parent, or if you have children yourself, or even pets, if you're a pet mom or dad, you need to check in and take time with you as well, because you don't want that cup to feel empty or feel like it's bottomless, where you are not giving enough back to you. So it doesn't mean that you're not taking care of others or connecting to the energy of healing this Saturday, but I certainly see that you are giving some much needed, tender, loving care to yourself, to your health, and to your own sense of support here. Now, moving into Sunday, November 9th, Mercury goes retrograde in Sag. So Mercury retrograde always invites reflection, right? But Sagittarius is a sacred pause, if you will, around beliefs, visions, truth, even adventure, that fiery energy within, including the stories we tell ourselves and others. So this is a time for reviewing, revising, and returning to what needs careful thought. And you have the great outdoors here, which is about grounding your energy, because sometimes it can feel disorienting, where either travel plans or communication or even subconscious energies resurface, and we can feel a bit uncertain, or we can feel like we hesitate at times. So Sunday would be a wonderful day to get out in nature, go for a walk, connect with the trees, connect with your plants if you have plants in your home, and if you have any last remnants of, say, a garden, maybe some of you are canning or freezing. This could also be getting out on the water. Maybe you're doing some paddleboarding, kayaking, or fishing. I feel like the great outdoors is telling you to get some time to yourself and unplug, right? Get in touch with nature, go camping here, and kind of separate your energy from external noise. That's why it says here, wide open spaces, because you don't want to feel crowded this Sunday, and you also don't want to crowd your time. If you have an event to go to, you don't want to show up. It almost feels like planning. Allow yourself some space in between planning. Otherwise, you may notice that you may be a little cramped, and then that can cause anxiety, and it causes, things to unravel perhaps in a challenging way. So just, create space this Sunday. Think of this as an opportunity to slow down and recalibrate your perspective before moving forward. That's what I'm getting here for you. So Soul Tribe, that is what I have for the week ahead. Even though people get a bit freaked out when retrograde season is upon us, I know that there are some people out there that do not travel, and I can attest that I've traveled during retrograde, and yes, there have been delays, but if you kind of accept and prepare yourself for the chance that, yes, the inevitable, could happen, that there can be some hangups, there can be some delays. But again, if we listen to our intuitive knowing, if we take this opportunity to slow down and really reflect before moving forward, it can make all of the difference in the world, right? An example, just tripping over my words just then, right? So communication this month can seem a little bit hairy, but I don't feel like it has to have you spiraling in such a direction where, it creates havoc in a bigger way. What's the saying? Creating like a molehill out of an anthill. So if you tune in to this intuitive voice, no matter what life throws at you, no matter what is going on in your world, you will absolutely be okay, and you can tap into the clarity to make choices, which you have this Monday, that are for the highest good of all, right? For the highest good of your truth, your integrity, your alignment. Thank you so much, Soul Tribe, for being here today, for spending your Sunday. If you're watching this on Sunday, thank you for being here. And I look forward to next week. Lots of love.